Today is Thursday, November 8th, 2018. Good night to our viewers and the PEP members. Welcome to Frontline. My name is Janice Leamonda Creaky and I am the Public Relations Officer for the Progressive Empowerment Party. And my co-host for tonight's show is Head of Membership, Anthony Defoe.
Hello.
Good night, Anthony.
Good night, Janice. Good night, Trinidad and Tobago.
Tonight I want to talk about what's going on with the HDC, which is making the headlines of late. The flooding in Greenvale has started a wave of questioning about the involvement of government, past and current, in the building of the development and the role of the House Development Corporation, also known as the HDC. We keep talking about the HDC, but do we truly understand their role and purpose? The Trinidad and Tobago Housing Development Corporation, HDC, which replaced the former National Housing Authority, is an agency of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Development and was established by Act number 24 of 2005. The HDC is managed by a board of directors and its functions include provide quality, affordable housing solutions for eligible first-time homeowners, as well as ensure there are associated community facilities for their use. Stimulation of private sector activities with respect to home construction. Rationalizing and restructuring of its mortgage portfolio. Management and maintenance of its housing estates, and acquisition of land for housing development. The first pillar of the government's housing policy is affordability. Now, that is a very important word, affordability.
That's right.
This includes subsidies. The Ministry of Housing and Urban Development is mandated to provide housing units of different designs and costs to suit the needs of low to middle income families. Low to middle income families. The ministry, through its agencies, is able to reduce costs by offering subsidized mortgage programs and other concessionary financing for construction of the housing developments, thereby making it more affordable to purchase. The pricing of units are only decided by cabinet when the development has almost been completed and full construction costs are known. The government continues to encourage competitive pricing to keep overall costs down, in keeping with its policy to provide affordable housing for the low and middle income earners. Another part of their portfolio is called the rental program, rent to own. The rent to own program was designed to facilitate those persons who, given their current financial situation, are unable to qualify for mortgage financing. The program is based on the premise that once a person's financial qualification is within $100,000 of the cost of the allocated unit and he or she is less than 35 years of age, he or she will be eligible for the rent-to-own program. Subsequently, the client will then pay a rent-to-own fee for a period ranging from 3 to 5 years, of which 2/3 is applied as a deposit towards the cost of the unit at the end of the period, and the remaining 1/3 is retained by the corporation as an administration fee. The rent-to-own program thereby allows for the difference to be paid within a stipulated period, after which the client would be reassessed. If the client is still unable to qualify at the end of the 5-year period, the rent-to-own agreement could be extended for a further 3 years at the discretion of the corporation. Persons who are unable to qualify at the end of the extended period would then be converted to a rental arrangement and their payments applied as such. If the person is able to qualify at the end of the rent-to-own period, he or she will be processed for a mortgage by the TTMF or another financial lending agency. Rentals. Post 1982, the National Housing Authority, NHA, constructed apartments for rent and indexed the monthly rate to the income of beneficiaries on a variable sliding scale, between a minimum and maximum rental rate of $100 to $350. Fast forward to 2017. The HDC continues to provide rental units under the Accelerated Housing Program to fulfill the needs of citizens, such as our senior citizens, who are unable to qualify for a mortgage. Rental rates for the newer units are also indexed to the income of beneficiaries on a variable sliding scale. Then we have the subsidized mortgages through the TTMF. Accessing affordable mortgage options has been made even more possible with the Trinidad and Tobago Mortgage Finance Company Limited restructured subsidized mortgage regime to cater to the needs of the lower and lower income earners. The affordable financing regime was extended in early 2015 to include a 5% mortgage interest rate for first-time home owners whose monthly earning was not in excess of $30,000. This would afford them the opportunity to purchase a property up to $1.2 million and qualify for 95% financing on properties valued at $1.2 million. Now, Anthony, lower to middle income earners, the woman who works behind the cash register in a fast food outlet, the security guard who is guarding a premises, how are they going to be able to earn or be able to purchase a property at $1.2 million?
Crime. Crime. But Janice, we're wondering why we have a large portion of the population turning to crime, because there is no hope and opportunity. That's what we're preaching. This, what Janice just read, is out of the reach of the people who are on the lower realm of society.
Yes.
You can't help people with a program like this. This is geared, you can say, basically to the middle class, and there's a large cross-section of the middle class that can't even meet payments along these lines for an investment like this. Especially not now, that's right.
Because you're not too sure if you're going to have a job in the morning, especially if you work within, the government sector. Okay, let's take a pin in that because we have some more information to provide to our viewers.
Pin right there.
By September 2016, the government further modified the qualifying income and property value to reflect a more realistic picture of the marketplace and give citizens a greater ability to access affordable housing solutions. In the 2017 budget statement, Finance Minister, the Honorable Colum Imbert, articulated that to ensure that the housing needs of our lower and middle income groups are being met, the government has taken the decision to increase the qualifying monthly income from $10,000 to $14,000 and the property value from $850,000 to $1 million in order for persons to access the 2% financing regime. In respect of the 5% facility, the lower limit of $1,001 has been moved to $14,001 with a higher limit of no more than $30,000. This will allow for the purchase of properties up to $1.5 million. These amendments are expected to benefit more than 6,000 families who are potential beneficiaries of the state's housing program. Other persons seeking to purchase on the open market can also benefit from this mortgage financing regime. Now again, coming back to the salaries of the lower income earners, there is no way that they are going to be able to benefit from this particular program. And it's unfortunate because the impression is being given that every effort is being made to help the lower income earners. And that when you read stuff like this, it is so glaring to you that that's not the case.
Exactly. That is not the case.
Right? And not only that, how many people who are middle income earners are aware that they can qualify for this kind of program? They're not. They don't know.
And even if they do know, the thing is that the environment that they're in, it creates a sense of insecurity. You don't feel as if you have a stable, long-term, secure job. That's the environment we have on the ground in Trinidad, because the financial environment is very unstable. You have companies closing their doors. Look at Tobago. How many small businesses had to close their doors because, mismanagement of the island? Really? Think about it, Trinidad and Tobago. So in that sense, Janice, again, even though this is all sugar, that's what that is. That's sugar coating. To make you seem as if, yes, we're an administration and we are doing for the people and we are looking out for your best interest. But in reality, do the census, find out exactly how many citizens on the ground is benefiting from this program and in which aspect of the society. It's certainly not the people on the lower realm of society that is, like Janice says, the minimum wage earner. What's the hope and opportunity for them? They're going to be renting for the rest of their lives. And when you have people working for, what, $2,200 a month as a minimum wage, right? You have rent starting at $2,000, $2,500 a month. So, really and truly, what are we really doing, Trinidad? What? That's my question, because every piece of information we bring into the public space makes no sense, by whether the administration present or the administration before. None of these initiatives make any sense whatsoever. And I'm just saying, we're an island of smart people. I believe we are smarter than what we are making ourselves to be now, really and truly. But anyway, I'll stick up in.
Stick up in that one. This, starting from last week, I think this is on Sunday, we've been seeing a lot of reports about the HDC in the newspapers. And
they're not hearing us. You're not hearing us? Volume is down. Is the volume up? Or?
The volume is up.
Do you want to unplug this
Right.
mic?
No, try it now. Is that better?
Are you guys hearing us better now, Trinidad? Some of you are having problems hearing on the volume. Let us know if you're hearing us clearer now. Right up. Okay, good. All right, Jan.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. So I want to talk a little bit about these issues with HDC. And as someone said to me today, there really needs to be a forensic audit to be done on HDC to find out what really has been going on for the last couple of years. So there are
couple of years?
Well, last 56 years.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
56 years. So HDC projects hit by approval woes, defects, mistakes costs $2.4 billion. Could you imagine the amount of homes that could have been built for that kind of money?
Here, Trinidad, how much?
$4 billion.
Billion dollars, eh? That's 1,000,000 times to make 1 billion. And it's 2.5 of that?
2.4. Construction variations or changes to the agreed scope of works at Housing Development Corporation, HDC, projects cost you, me, Anthony, our tax dollars, some $2.4 billion between 2005 and 2017. These include 2 projects that had to be abandoned because of structural and engineering obstacles that were not determined before construction began. So you wonder who were the engineers?
Well, this is it. How are you going to build a building and not do a proper assessment as to where the heck this thing is being built? That's like Greenvale.
Yeah.
You build phase 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, well look, we have a piece of land down in the back there, down in a hole, But here what, we could take them and still throw them there. Why? Money spending under the table. Money spending under the table. There's another project that possibly may have to be abandoned because people can't live in Greenville. There has not been the proper infrastructure for that zone directly. Thursday? Was it Thursday before that? Janice was reading another archive of information.
Delta program in the Netherlands.
In the Netherlands, this is it, and they are below sea level now. You know the techniques that they use to create that type of environment. We are nowhere close to that. We did nothing. Our engineers did nothing close to that where Greenville is concerned. So expect excessive rainfall again anytime, whether it be this year or possibly next year or the years to come. Greenville will always be a target zone for that type of mishap. What are we going to do proactively to safeguard these people in these areas? People who have spent their monies working 2 and 3 jobs to have this little home that they managed to get from the government, that the government want to call a home. But really, Trinidad, but anyway, Janice, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I don't want to get started too early.
You're out of gas. The news comes even as the ruling PNM and the opposition UNC continue to spar over which party made the errors while in government, which led to the recent flooding disaster at the Greenfield Park La Joqueta development. On Friday, Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley confirmed that pressure to provide state housing to a growing market meant that the HDC was sometimes forced to bypass approvals and procedures to complete projects on time. Rowley served as Minister of Housing from November 2003 to November 2007. And during that time, 2 other projects were started and had to be stopped because of the lack of proper approvals. On Thursday, the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian received a report from a former HDC engineer who requested anonymity, detailing a list of projects with massive cost overruns and variations. Some had structural errors that brought construction to a complete halt, although millions were already spent. The engineer said sites like Oropoon Gardens, Piarco and Greenvale Park were subjected to incomplete planning and designs. Housing was built prior to completion of infrastructure works, he said. According to the report the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian received, large projects contracted between 2005 and 2010 under the joint venture model overran their contract sums by 194% and took 8 years on average to complete. The engineer said the average cost of a unit under these projects was $832,000. He said larger projects contracted between 2010 and 2015 under the Federation of Consulting Engineers model, meanwhile, overran their contract sum by 4% and took 4 years on an average to complete. The average cost of a unit was
1.057
million.
Right?
I just couldn't get the words out of my mouth. What the average cost of a unit was over $1 million. I mean,
there's HTC houses, right? There's HTC units, right?
Yeah, but
it's supposed to be economic for the population, correct?
That's right. According to the documents, Greenvale construction began in March 2007, was completed in June 2015. The project was initially pegged at $277 million for 584 units, but by the time the work was completed, it cost the HDC some $339 million. The project list also details the construction at the abandoned Edinburgh Towers in Edinburgh 500 Shogunus, which began in July 2007 and remains incomplete today. The construction of the towers also began when Rowley was Minister of Housing and has been left abandoned by the HDC for the past 11 years. It was initially pegged at a cost of 57 million, but incurred a massive 87.7 million in variations before it was abandoned because of design flaws. According to information received, construction began in March 2005 and progressed slowly for 6 years. In that time, it suffered from major cost overruns and schedule overruns until work on it was eventually suspended in May 2011. Now you see the pattern going there? They will start the work and then it will progressively slow down and take more than the required scheduled time for completion.
Look at the numbers Janice just quoted there. 277 million for 584 units, and this went up by the time it was done to $339 million. That's almost $70 million extra. Where did that money go? Where? What was there to do on these buildings that had to cost a $70 million overrun? When you have supposedly certified contractors and you know,
anyway, take a breather. Even after some $87.7 million and 6 years was spent on those towers, by 2011, the buildings were still without the statutory approvals from the Trinidad and Tobago Electrical Commission, TNTEC, WASA, and Fire Service. They also did not have a town and country approval or approvals for design and drainage. Despite the millions spent, the towers still do not have staircases. The roof is still incomplete. Elevator shafts are still to be constructed, and the external cladding to the building and the external work contracts were never awarded. According to an internal HDC report on that project, while the sewer is in place, the drainage and the paving, walkways and hydrants are also still outstanding.
No, we spend the money, contractor going home, you know, Trinidad and Tobago, 300 and, how much is it?
59.
No, wait a minute. No, these are the two towers you're talking about, right?
The towers are 87.7.
Right, and they had a cost overrun?
Yes, because the original cost was
the original,
57
right,
million.
the original cost was 57 million, and that went up to 87.7 million. All right, and we have an incomplete building, an incomplete structure, contractor going home, money in hand, already sitting down in the bank. No one that was held accountable for that said project, whether it be the construction firm, whether it be the engineers, whether it be the government of the day, or the Minister of Health, of Housing. Who is responsible for this? Is the taxpayers' money sitting down there, just getting dew, rain, sun, not benefiting nobody? Nobody. Because guess what? If the building wasn't there, we could have probably used the damn land to grow food. So the bottom line is that it's a no-win situation for no one. For no one. And we are sitting quiet about this, boy. Anyway.
Well, we have some more figures to give you.
Right. Go ahead, John.
Similarly, at Harmony Hall, Gasparillo, the HDC began construction on 72 townhouses and 80 apartments between December 2004 and December 2011. However, it was discovered that some 36 apartments were structurally unsound after $44 million was already spent in variation costs. At Cashew Gardens, Carlson Field, Shogunas, construction of 701 units as part of Phase 3C began in 2003 and is ongoing from 2003.
We are 2018, Trinidad. 2018, man. Oh God. Oh gosh.
Its cost was initially put at 313 million, but incurred an $18 million variation, and there is no notification as to why the job remains incomplete. Construction of 422 homes at La Fortune, South Trinidad, began in April 2006 and is still ongoing, but began at $85 million and incurred a cost variation, now listen for this, $175 million. Dick Ford, things done in ad hoc manner. Contacted on the issue, former P&M Housing Minister Dr. Emily Dick Ford said, when she inherited the HDC from Rowley, it was in a mess. Dick Ford said before 2010, when she demitted office, her personal assistant visited the Greenvale project, which was already almost complete. When I took over that ministry and went to HDC, I found that things were done in a very ad hoc manner, Dick Ford said in an interview on Wednesday. The HDC did not have a tenders committee and was not using the Central Tenders Board, so it was unclear how it was buying lands or selecting contractors, she said. She added, when I went in November 2007, the HDC was building without approvals. I got rid of the entire board. However, she admitted she was pressured to continue housing projects without approvals. I was told that everything with housing would be shut down if I waited for approvals, and so we had to continue with some of the projects, she said. This is not the first time that Dick Ford and Rowley have had conflicting views over a poor construction issue related to the HDC. Back in 2014, Rowley defended his role in the construction of the now demolished $26 million Las Alturas Towers in Mova, and Dick Ford took sides against the party to defend her own role in the construction of the buildings. At that time, too, Dick Ford said she had inherited a mess from Rowley, but confirmed at that time that ministerial approval was necessary as a building project continued. She had said then that it was not possible for the HDC to approve and begin construction without ministerial say-so and cabinet approval. In 2014, when Rowley was opposition leader, the then Minister of Housing, Dr. Rudal Munilal, spoke out on the $26 million Las Turas project, which had to be demolished because of structural deficiencies. At that time, Munilal said that the Las Alturas project rose from $65 million to $90 million, and two towers valued at $26 million had to be demolished since geotechnical work had not been done, though Rowley was a geologist. At that time, Rowley had confirmed that the original Las Alturas structure was completed under his watch, but denied any knowledge of the construction of the portion that had to be demolished. The Trinidad and Tobago Guardian on Saturday asked current HDC chairman Newman George about the entity operations regarding approvals for projects and various issues with variances, given what PM Rowley and the opposition have claimed about the Greenvale project and what the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian investigation has revealed about other projects. Following was the question sent via WhatsApp after George did not answer calls to his phone. So, Dr. Rowley said yesterday, Friday, that HDC because of pressure to provide houses would sometimes start construction without requisite approvals. Can you confirm if this is still the case at HDC? Well, they are still waiting on a response. Are you surprised?
Not at all.
Another project which they did not report on was the Victoria Keys project. And what I'm about to read from you was gotten from Afra Raymond's website. And I do have his permission to use his posts. The Victoria Keys. This is a 264 unit complex at 4 Roads, Digger Martin, on an island site opposite to the Starlight Shopping Plaza. Now, that's not quite true. It's not quite opposite to Starlight. It's more opposite to Victoria Gardens. But anyway, this project appears to have been intended for middle-class applicants, as per the previous example which he was talking about in his article. The substantial construction of these apartments was completed in 2010. But there have been extensive modifications, improvements of the units to a surprising degree when one considers the HDC mandate. The project is not only now nearly completed, so consider these disclosures from the Minister of Housing and Urban Development at that time, Marlene MacDonald, in her statement to Parliament on Friday, 4th December 2015, Hansard. Some 3 bedrooms were turned into 2 bedrooms. Some 2 bedrooms were turned into 1 bedroom. When they were completed, there were tiles on all the floors in the 264 units. All those tiles were dug up. No one lived in there, you know. All the tiles were removed and replaced by hardwood floors. So somebody got that contract. All the tiles in the bathroom are now porcelain tiles. All the kitchen cupboards, beautiful. It is one of the finest HDC sites in the country. I am talking about the inside of the building. 264 units, every one air-conditioned, to provide a quality living experience. You had the installation of automatic sprinkler systems. You had the installation of garbage chutes in each apartment, the installation of centralized air-conditioned units for common areas of the buildings. You had 4-story car parks built, and let me tell you, with elevators. There are 2 of them. One on the western side of the compound and one on the eastern side. There's a swimming pool, and the swimming pool sits on the roof of the eastern side of the car park. So you have the 4-story car park, and sitting at the top, there's a swimming pool. There is also a clubhouse there. There is also a tennis court. There is also a gym. And most of all, there is also a sauna cum spa. According to the minister, the total costs were, original cost of the construction of the buildings were $299 million. Cost of modifications of the buildings, which is including the ripping up of all those tiles and putting down of hardwood flooring, plus ripping up all the tiles in the bathroom and putting down porcelain tiles, plus I am sure lots of other variations. That cost the taxpayers $141 million. Cost of external works came up to $170 million. So the total cost for the Victoria Keys came up to $610 million. So if you take that total cost and then divide it by 264 new homes at this project, that will equate to an average cost of $2.3 million per unit. Please note that these estimates given by the minister do not seem to have included the cost of what would have been very valuable land. That is how far adrift this housing program is from focusing on the urgent needs of our less fortunate citizens. According to Dr. Rowley, speaking about the valuations of those units on the 21st of November 2015, the cheapest unit is only 100.6 million, and the top units are valued at 4.5 million.
We sure this is a HDC project? We sure this, right? We are sure of this, because as far as I understand, the mandate of HDC is to ensure home ownership for
lower
the less deprived citizens,
income earners.
right?
So,
Go ahead, Janice.
one can only hope that those units will be sold at market price so that the HDC can recover some of these exorbitant costs. Given the location and the high quality finishes, there is no rational case for any housing subsidy to be expended at Victoria Keys. I don't even think that they have sold half of those units.
Janice, oh God, I mean, I vex you even bring these numbers to me, boy.
Well, no, the public needs to be aware of the kind of money.
Tell the public, let me put thing in my ears. I don't want to hear that, because this upsetting me, boy. Because we have a large portion of the population just suffering, catching the nenin like that. And these people are just pissing money away. Look, the project, it went what? It had an overrun of
141 million plus
the original cost of the construction of the buildings is, let me say, $300 million, right, Trinidad and Tobago? The cost of modifications on these buildings is $141 million, right? And the external costs in works, another $170 million. A total of $610 million, boy. Serious? For how many homes was this?
264 I don't say they're luxury apartments.
Yeah, but what are they doing in the luxury business to begin with? Why are they trying to compete with the private sector now?
Mm-hmm.
Why? What's the reasoning behind that? What is the reasoning behind that? If you are upper middle class or upper class, you have no reason to even look HDC way. You don't have no reason to look HDC way.
Correct, you're correct. Now, to make you even more depressed.
Good boy, more.
There was an article that I came across, again, just written the 26th of November. No, it can't be 26th. That's last year. Because it's not even the 26th yet. You know?
Don't be rushing the days now, man. Oh, God.
Well, the year is almost finished.
Yeah, but I still picking ham out my teeth from last year Christmas. Look, Christmas nearly reached. Christmas nearly reached.
I know, but you know, you're kind of like hoping, well, things might pick up next year. So you want to kind of like get this year over and
things
done with.
Things will pick up with this administration, with the PNM government in office. Things to get better. Serious.
We have to hope.
Janice, the only hope we have is the Progressive Empowerment Party.
Well, until such time when the Progressive Empowerment Party becomes the current government.
Girl, up till last night, I argued with a man, and a man I know for donkey years, boy, telling me us. Anyway, go ahead, John. I don't want to get sidetracked.
We now have where people willing to buy vandalized HTC homes. A 2-bedroom townhouse in West Trinidad costs around $2 million. A 3-bedroom house in East Trinidad costs between $1 million to $2 million. With few affordable home ownership opportunities in the private sector, and a lengthy waiting period for an oversubscribed Housing Development Corporation applicant list of over 200,000 citizens are eager to buy property even if they are vandalized or incomplete. The Minister of Housing at that time, which is Minister Randall Mitchell, told the Sunday Guardian there were approximately 900 unoccupied HDC units available presently, some of which were vandalized or in various states of disrepair. Pressed to give a concrete figure for the vandalized homes, Mitchell declined because he knew he could not come out with the true figures, because that would have upset people even more if they found out. The information that Mitchell claimed that he had is as at June 2016, that there were approximately 1,490 unoccupied units. Since then, they had only repaired 500 at that time. The HDC has been the target of vandals and thieves, with some homes temporarily used by vagrants for shelter. In HDC Couva development, doors had been removed from houses and windows had been smashed. Now, basically, what I want to try to get here is that there are people who at that time indicated that they were more than willing to accept the vandalized units, but they were not prepared to pay exorbitant prices for a vandalized house.
I'll tell you, Janice, the mission of HDC needs to be being able to approve a citizen for a loan to acquire their home.
Correct.
Let them build it from scratch. Let them choose what area they would like to live in. Let the citizen make these choices. Just provide the facility. If you truly want to fix the country, we have to reach deep down under to the people who are not usually reached. That's where we need to go. That's who we have to ensure has hope and opportunity. Not being in despair and I mean, it's why we have crime the way that it is here. How many people are dying in just a couple of days? A pregnant woman and her boyfriend or husband or whoever died, got shot, killed, or stabbed, or some madness like this. I mean, really, Trinidad, what is it really going to take, boy? What? We are reading statistics, we are reading numbers, factual figures. We have proof to show there's major hemorrhaging in our economy, major hemorrhaging, and it's happening not just by a whim, it's happening purposely by the people we redden our finger for to look out for the betterment of us as a citizenry, as a nation. These are the people who are doing this to this nation, and we have the proof. We are showing you what is the problem, Trinidad. How much more of this are we going to go? Listen, the Progressive Empowerment Party going into office come 2020, we are 100% sure there is nothing inside that treasury. Nothing. Because they are trying to pillage everything they can possibly get their hands on. We know we're going to start from scratch. And it's why we need to be innovative. It's why we need to think outside the box to ensure we are... What just happened there?
It stopped.
Okay. I'm not sure. Is it on? Is it off?
It's on. It froze.
All right. We're having a little technical difficulty here. We just had our system almost bumped off from us. And there's another thing. They're doing everything to try to not allow us to put this message out there into the public space, to put this type of critical information out there into the public space. It's only been siphoned and redirected into other people's accounts and pockets and offshore. It's going everywhere but where it's supposed to be, which is for the people, for the betterment of the people, for the betterment of the nation. And, you know, Trinidad and Tobago, we have to wake up and really smell the coffee and understand that this is the time now, this is the chance now. We don't have no time later on, because as time goes, listen, it's simply going to get worse, and it's going to come to a point where this government, whether it be the PNM or the UNC or whomever is in office, granted, you know, the country actually rejects the PEP come 2020, let me tell you something. mark my words, our future is Venezuela. Our future is possibly Haiti. This is what our future is, because again, when you have a government fall apart, you have corruption rampant throughout a police force and protective services, you don't have any arms of state that actually works. Listen, the only thing after a state of emergency is total governmental collapse, you know. That's just what it is. You know, and are we willing, are we ready, are we able to actually face that? We're not in a position to help our population with excessive rainfall. Far less a natural disaster. Far less the nation actually falling apart in the sense of the government in itself falling apart. What are we going to do, Trinidad and Tobago? Are we really going to wait until this wolf gets to our door? We're not going to be proactive. Why is it when, as soon as we get off the shores of Trinidad and Tobago and we are crossing a first world country, we could be as proactive as night and day? How is that? And we're home. We're first class citizens here. Anyway, John?
You know, we're back live.
We're back live.
Yes.
Okay, so we're I'll stay live.
Still live, and
yeah.
we can do.
So we're back live. They tried bumping us off again, Trinidad. So it's just to let you know. You're wondering, you know, how come we jump from one to another? Well, that's actually why, because they bumped us off from our original feed, and it's an ongoing issue that we're dealing with. So I'm not sure if it's truly an inefficiency of the internet service. Who are we using? Digicel or B-Mobile?
Digicel.
I call in your name, but Digicel, come now, man. If this is all your incompetence, are shining you up. All you ain't doing a good job at all. It's very, very inefficient. You know what I mean? And if it's not Digicel and you're not at fault, you know, I do, please forgive me. But and if it is a saboteur, boy, the message is gonna get out one way or the next. Mark my words, it's gonna get out there. The people are going to know. We are going to wake up the nation. There's no doubt about it. All right. So yeah. So
I think too that the whole Green Veil issue, when they hear the kinds of money that has been spent, and the fact that now they have lost, some of them have lost everything.
yeah.
I mean, I was thinking about it today because I was looking at a woman walking through the flood waters with her stepdaughter or stepsister, and I thought to myself, you know, I could never possibly imagine what it would be like. I would be devastated if something like that happened to me.
But they need to have a proper investigation in that Green Veil thing, you.
I know.
Because it's major mismanagement took place there. You put people, the population, the residents of that area at major risk. You listen, we are so lucky. No one died in that mishap.
Correct.
We are so lucky. Thank God for this. All right? But the thing is that we can't depend on luck. We can't depend on luck, Trinidad and Tobago. We cannot depend on luck. We need to be proactive. We need to have systems that work properly. We need to have a proper level of transparency, a proper level of accountability. These are key elements in order for the nation to work properly, for people to have rights, for things to be correct.
And not just that, when you think about it, Philip actually wrote to the Prime Minister talking about this whole fiasco and asking that a commission of inquiry be put up to deal with this matter.
Yeah, but what?
A copy of his letter was sent to the DPP, to the Chief Justice, to the President of Trinidad and Tobago, to the Transparency Institute. And, you know, when you think about it, who can you really complain to? Who? Because do you think that any of those names that I called are going to start a process to investigate this matter? The answer is no.
Exactly. I mean, look, we sent a letter to Dr. Rowley. When wasn't he the housing minister at the time for that same Greenville project?
Correct.
So he's going to insistently or willingly put an inquiry against his own self. You understand what I'm
Well,
saying?
the thing about it is you have this sparring going on between the PNM and the UNC, trying to put trying to see who to blame, because Munila was also around as Minister of Housing.
That's right.
And also continued certain projects that should really not have been continued. So you kind of like wonder, well, who do you complain to?
Again, Philip says, reboot the republic. Let's shut everything down and start from scratch, Trinidad and Tobago. Mark my words, 2020, the Progressive Empowerment Party comes into office. We can celebrate true independence, because there will be a level of transparency never seen before. There will be a level of accountability never seen on the shores of Trinidad and Tobago before. Take my word on this. You want things to work? You like how it is when you jump on a plane and go to London or go to New York or go to Canada? You like what it looks like? You like how things can be on time? You know a bus is coming every 5 minutes, on the minute? You want to know that you are protected with your security and police? You want to know that you have rights? You want to know that you can get proper health care? You can get proper education? You could have value as your monetary dollar in your pocket, having real value. I mean, Trinidad, the Progressive Empowerment Party is the only institution that's going to ensure this for the people. And I'm telling you, again, I had a huge argument last night with an old friend of mine, and he is insistent that, anyway, that there's a whole nother story for a whole nother show. But long story short is that, people are so jaded. And I'll tell you this, COP did a real number on the population, because the people really thought that they had a chance at that point in time. Right. And for them to turn their backs on the people the way that they did, and for the bubble to go down the way that it did within that PP partnership business, it really left a sour taste in the people's mouth, and it's totally unfair. For now that the people have a mechanism, a machinery, a political vehicle to really bring betterment for them, and they don't believe it. Everybody it's just too good to be true. Mm-hmm. It's just too good to be true. This is what everyone is saying, and they don't understand the level of patriotism that we have within this party, how much we truly want to fix this nation. Because I want to go and cook up in Maracas Beach 2-3 o'clock in the morning, alone, and feel safe. That is what I want. I want that for everybody on the ground. Everybody in the PP wants that. We need this as a nation, and it's only one way we're going to do this, Trinidad and Tobago. Is if we all come together. We can't have division anymore. We can't, the Indian party and the Creole party and all of this BS. We can't go down that road anymore. We need to have an institution that looks after the entire whole, all, everyone. That's the bottom line. It's a betterment for all. And we need to put emphasis on the ones that are most that need. The portion of the society that's below. That's where the emphasis have to go. Because once we can solve those problems, those issues on a national level, we wouldn't have a budget for national security. We wouldn't have a budget for a lot of the things that we have to hemorrhage money on to try to pacify people within the population. Really and truly, it's a no-brainer. It's a total no-brainer. And I would say it again, get a bunch of youths and throw them in that parliament and see how much better that they do than anyone passing through that parliament for the last 56 years. That's just my 2 cents. And I'm proud to say the Progressive Empowerment Party have a lot of young minds. Aside from the old fogies like myself, the experience is good. You see what's going on here? Janice throw me in the cool there. Don't let me bust your file. But anyway, no, but really and truly, I am very, very proud to be a part of the Progressive Empowerment Party. To actually see the mechanism at work, to see the level of patriotism among the members. It's just really about a betterment for all, boys. It's just really making it a reality. I'm not just talking about it, Trinidad. And listen, if you have doubts, come down, 19 Stanmore Avenue on a Saturday, every Saturday noon, since the inception, since this party began, every Saturday. At noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue. You bet your bottoms dollar. The executive is here. Come and talk. Come and scrutinize the policies. This piece of documentation here. And wait till it come out in detail. Boy, wait till this come out in detail. Again, 21 policies at a glance. At a glance. It's not detailed here. All right? But come down to 19 Stanmore Avenue on a Saturday, 12 noon, and we will explain it to you in detail. We will show it to you in layman terms. We will give you the mechanism and the blueprint as to how this thing is going to work. Don't listen to none of them idiots out there saying that this is far-fetched, it's not real, it's impossible, it's a dream, it's pipe dreams. It's garbage. It's garbage. When we were thinking about pipe dreams and it wasn't possible to go to the moon, to go into space, guess what? We reach. We there. Not so? We there. Not so? Where there's a will, there's a way. And we can save Trinidad and Tobago. Take my word on that, Trinidad. Take my word on that. Anyway.
Well, not just that. I mean, if it is that you have your doubts, as Anthony says, come down. Come and have a conversation with us. Come and take part. Be a part of the party.
That's right.
Get involved. It is no point just sitting on the fence and saying, oh, well, you know, nothing could change. No. Get off your butt and get down here and take part and help with the party getting into government in 2020. That way you know that you have given it your best shot.
That's right. So, Jan, I think it's 9 o'clock.
It's time.
So we've had our time.
To close of our segment. And of course, we do invite our viewers and our members to come down on a Saturday, 12 noon. Bring your friends and family. Let's have conversations on the politics or politricks, and let us try and see if we can make a better Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes.
Any closing remarks from you?
Well, my only closing remarks is Trinidad and Tobago, you have a political vehicle that's being real to the people, telling truth and bringing you proof, factual information. I say come on board, come. Meet us at 19 Stanmore Avenue on at noon, any Saturday. Let's talk. Let's show you our way forward, man, as a nation to bring betterment for everybody. I want that more than anything in the world, and that's my mission before I close my eyes. That's my mission, and I intend for that mission to come to pass. Hear my word on that. That's my mission, personally, Anthony Defoe, and every other member within the PP. I think I can speak for them, saying that they are along the same thought pattern, same mind. So, again, we can't do this by ourselves. We need your support, Trinidad and Tobago. 1.4 million of us. We need that. All right? It's the only way we're going to get betterment from this system, both PNM and UNC. We want betterment for all. No race, no creed, no division, none of that. It's all love. It's all betterment. That's the reality. Yeah. Vote PEP. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Ow! You go, girl.
I would also like to encourage all our members and viewers to help to contribute to the party, because as you know, we do not have deep pocket financiers, because that's where the corruption starts.
Yes.
And we do not want to have to deal with corruption in our party. So please do contribute and or donate to the party and help us move forward. We want to acknowledge all of our members and our viewers tonight. Thank you for your patience. And to those of you who are on the roads, please be safe. Good night.
Good night. Good night, Trinidad and Tobago.